Is Bert Lee in the house? I think he's... Am I right? Yeah, Bert Lee.
Yes, I am. That's a little early for me, but I am in the house.
Yeah, well, yeah, 4 minutes.
Oh, I thought. Okay. Hi.
No, you're at, you're at 12:20. Well, you're at 3:20, I should say.
Yeah. Nice and loud.
Perfect.
Great. Alrighty, I am as advertised. I'm Bert Lee. It's my pleasure to be here for I think it's maybe the 5th time I've done this wonderful show, and we should all be very appreciative of Mr. John Rubick for doing this for us because he's a championship material. That right there. I am a guy that does basically nothing but originals, so I hope you can get into that. And I'm just going to start with one of them right now. It's called "The Dead Man's Coat." And it's like this. I left my shoes in Dublin. I borrowed a dead man's coat. I left it all behind me and I stowed on to a boat. I left it all behind me to be swallowed up by time. If they ever come and find me, may they pardon me my crime. Say I killed my father, but I only stole his name. He was murdered by a bottle, but I'll gladly share the blame. Murdered by a bottle, and maybe death has set him free. Now if I could only lose his ghost inside of me. His ghost is in my mirror. His ghost is in my mind. It's living underneath my skin, and it won't be left behind. I tried my best to kill it, but the damn thing never dies. Stands so hard above me, whiskey in its eyes. Here is my confession, for whatever it is worth. I'm haunted by my father, just like every man on earth. Haunted by my father, like every ordinary Jake. Oh, he hangs so dark above me, like a storm about to break. I'm sailing to America just to find what might be found. These memories overboard, and I'll pray that they stay drowned. I'll throw this baggage overboard to be swallowed by the sea. Now if I could only lose his ghost that hides inside of me. My shoes in Dublin, borrowed a dead man's coat. I left it all behind me and I stowed on to a boat. it all behind me to be swallowed up by time. If they ever come and find me, may they pardon me my crime. All right. That's the Dead Man's Coat, which is a song written about my grandfather, in fact. An interesting character. This next tune was written, I've been living in the same neighborhood in Brooklyn for a number of years. I've watched it change from an Italian and Middle Eastern neighborhood to a mostly Chinese neighborhood. And this song is written as a way of me accommodating myself to that concept because I love everybody. That's the truth. I love everybody. But you know, sometimes you may have to make adjustments when every store you go to they're speaking Cantonese or Mandarin. So this tune is called Water Everywhere. Our old Italian neighborhood has turned Chinese maybe for good. Water, water everywhere. The ghetto has been gentrified. The first folks have been pushed aside. Doesn't matter if it's fair. It's the same thing everywhere. The Indians who once lived here, they made their trade in hunting deer. Water, water everywhere. They made a bargain with the Dutch that really didn't leave them much, but the Dutchmen didn't care. Money, money everywhere. Now the hippies have all moved upstate. The hipsters came to take their place. Maybe the only difference is the hair. And the little shops we could afford to shop in once, they now are boarded, but the building owners, they don't care. It's the same thing everywhere. Well, the water just goes where it will. You know it always flows downhill. Rivers running everywhere. Who are you and I to kid it? Just does what it always did. Just goes where it's meant to be, flowing till it finds the sea. Water, water everywhere. Now the music clubs have all shut down. New York is a rich man's town. Doesn't matter if it's fair. And the only music that remains is while you're waiting for the trains. You can tip them if you care. So much free music everywhere. Well, the money just goes where it must. It's all about the boom or bust. Buddy, have you got a dime to spare? Who are you and I to kid? It settles for the lowest bid. The bottom line is where it goes. That's just the way the money flows. Doesn't matter if it's fair. Now in my new Chinese neighborhood, the people that I meet are good. It's the same thing everywhere. No matter where they come from, friend, they're only people in the end. It's not their fault they had to settle there. People, people everywhere. People trying just to be everywhere like you and me, like water flowing to the sea, going where they're meant to be. Water, 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 water everywhere. And thank you, fans. If you're enjoying my music, you can always find my music at bandcamp.com, bertlee.bandcamp.com. And you can also find my YouTube channel easy enough. It's under my name. That's Bert Lee. And I have a whole bunch of different things going on YouTube, including a thing that is currently ongoing called Bert Lee Presents Inside Guitars. And it's reviews and such of guitars, and also lessons about how to do the kind of finger picking and picking that I do when I do my songs, because it's not the usual finger picking, I think. This next tune is called Win Back Your Love, and it's a pretty straightforward pop song, so I hope you like it. This time, do I have to tell you I'm not guilty of the crimes you accuse me of? What do I have to do to win back your love? If I had to do it all again, would I even be just one whit wiser? Probably not. You have to live with what you've got. My hands are empty now, and I'm really not too sure just how we'll ever make amends. Is this the way our story ends? Lovers once, now barely friends. If you ask me why, I guess I'd have to try some awkward alibi you'd disabuse me of. What do I have to do to win back your love? Still I cannot see inside your guarded space. If you won't turn to face me, if I had to do it all again, would I even be just one whit wiser? Oh, probably not. What do I have to do to win back your love? Oh, why did I have to go and put myself above you? Darling, what do I have to do to win back your love? Oh, why did I have to go and put myself above you, darling? And that's a win back your love. How much time have I got left there, John?
You got like 20 minutes.
I love every minute of that. My songs are short and to the point. If you go and listen to my songs at Bandcamp or YouTube, you'll find that when they're fully arranged with all of the stuff that goes on in there, the basses and the drums and everything, they're actually kind of normal length, and it's great to have all this extra time. So let's just keep it going. This is a tune called "The Cowboy from Boston." Took me a second there to engage my brain cells while I recapoed. And this is another song of a family history. That first song, "Dead Man's Coat," was about my grandfather escaping from Ireland in 1863 as a young boy to go off and the Colorado Territory and become a bank robber. Well, let's just say he robbed the wrong bank and just kind of leave it at that. You can read the book. You can find that at Amazon Books. This particular song is a song about both of my grandfathers, patrilineal, because we all have two. You know that for a fact. That's how it works. You see, first the bees, their legs heavy with pollen. You know all this stuff. So anyway, this is a song about my grandfathers, one of whom was a fiddler who wandered around the Colorado Territory teaching young girls to play fiddle and showing them what to do with the next 9 months of their life. And my other grandfather, who was, as I say, a bank robber who robbed the wrong bank, and then went on to have an infamous career. The song is called Cowboy from Boston. Well, he played an old fiddle made over in Europe, recited the poets and quoted the bards, rode out of the East on a QuaranPalooza. A cowboy from Boston with a sleeve full of cards, with a hey diddle ho riding high in the saddle, a pearl-handled pistol and a master's degree. Come 3,000 miles to the streets of Seattle to wet his fine whistle on some fresh Chinese tea. The East Coast goes west to meet Far East, you see. Good man or bad depends on just who is talking. He bluffed like a champion or he lied like a snake. The ladies all swooned when he twirled his mustaches, and he snuck out the back door to bring him some cake. With a hey diddle ho riding over the prairie, fancy pants holsters, real silver spurs. The music he fiddled was so fine and airy. Looking up in the sky, he could name all the stars. He knew all his history and his generals and wars. Well, he rode down the coast to the West Texas border, to the Mexican desert where the summer was fierce. He got all caught up in the good revolution. He fought at the side of an old man named Bierce. With a Viva Zapata he gave a loud holler, his gentleman's clothing all spattered with mud. He shot like a bandit, but he talked like a scholar. The cowboy from Boston, all hell-bent for blood. The cowboy from Boston won't come to no good. Well, not too far from Houston, he stopped a stray bullet, and the last words he said were lifted right off the page. It was something he'd learned from the poet of Avon, how all men are players and life is a stage. With a viva la vida, that was how fate had planned it. As no one can say once that hand rolls the bones. He talked like a scholar, but he shot like a bandit. The cowboy from Boston laying under some stones. Just a cowboy from Boston come a long way from home. Just a cowboy from Boston come a long way from home.
Bravo.
Oh, thank you so much, John. Glad you're enjoying that. Try to make my songs interesting. That's what I try to do. I used to do a lot of covers, but now that I'm an official geezer, which you can tell by this white furry thing that's growing on my face, I'm just sticking to what I do. They can't stop me now. Oh, God knows they've tried. They've tried. They've definitely tried. Okay. So let's see. What can I avail you and amuse you with now? Okay. This is a different kind of thing. This is an homage, if you will, to Bob Dylan. There was something on Facebook today where somebody said, well, what period of Dylan would you like to be in? And my answer was, I would like to be in the period where he sold all of his songs for $400 million. I mean, I admire all the rest, but it's human nature is all I can tell you. And the reason this song even got written is that Dylan has a hobby. Now, it's not what you think. It's not, growing his hair funny or singing out of tune, sort of. His hobby is actually welding. He loves to weld things. And I saw a picture of him with a welding torch and has a welding helmet up on his head, and he welds these giant sculptings that look a little bit like Pablo Picasso's work, which he then, as I understand it, sells to the lobbies of hotels, fancy hotels, so they have an original Dylan in their lobby. And I kind of admire any artist who can be good at more than one thing. And this song is a little bit about the Dylan that cashed in, and a little bit about the Dylan that everybody loves anyway. We all love the guy. That guy was a great songwriter. And I know John totally agrees with me. One of the three great songwriters, absolutely, in America.
No doubt.
I'll give you salt for silver if you'll only make the trade. This poetry, these melodies are things that I have made. I've woven them from songs I've heard, from stories I've been told. I'll give you salt for silver unless you offer gold. Machine, a mechanical collage. Gonna build it in the workshop in the back of my garage. It's gonna be a wild contraption made of cogs and wheels and gears and discarded bits of everything I've gathered through the years. And when it gets to rolling, it's gonna make an awesome sound, like thunder in the mountains or an earthquake underground. When I'm done, they're gonna ask me, Bob, just what does that thing do? And I will turn around and ask them, man, well, what's it do for you? I'm gonna write a crazy song. Don't know what it might mean. It might be plain, might be a puzzle, might be something in between. Gonna populate the verses with people from my dreams. It might point to something deep or maybe just be what it seems. Oh, and when I get to singing it, it's gonna make an awful noise. And I really can't be bothered by the folks my voice annoys. When I'm done, they're gonna tell me, what does that mean, man? And I'll turn around and tell them, man, it's nothing they can't see. Farm boy with a complicated soul, who set out first to follow in a Woody Guthrie's tracks, to sing about the common man and the burdens on their backs. Gonna write an epic novel, a mountain range of prose. Might turn the tide of history or turn all my friends to foes. It's gonna be a wild concoction made of thoughts and words and prayers. There might be nothing underneath when you peel away the layers. Oh, if I fail in that ambition, I'm gonna put away my pen, put on ordinary clothing, go and walk the world of men. Gonna look in all their faces at the stories in their eyes, in the hopes that all the misery I see there makes me wise. Do I really have to tell you that is just the way I roll? I'm just a simple farm boy with a complicated soul, who set out first to follow in a Woody Guthrie's tracks, to sing about the common man and the burdens on their backs, who got waylaid in the city by the beatniks and the clowns, and the grief that always comes to you from mixing ups and downs, who tried his hand to Jesus and then suffered a relapse, and had to rebuild his ideas from all these bits and scraps. Oh, I will give you salt for silver if you'll only make the trade. This poetry, these melodies are things that I have made. I've stolen them from songs I've heard, from stories I've been told. I'll give you salt for silver unless you offer gold.
Yeah, love that one.
Thank you so much. You can find that particular song on my album called Salt for Silver, which makes it easy. You can remember the title of the song and the title of the album at the same time. Saves on brain cells, that's all I can tell you. It's important to do that as you get older, save on brain cells. Okay, so I'm guessing I got enough time for one more song here.
Oh yeah, the next performer, that'll be 3:50 your time.
No, okay. Okay, I'm going to do my unedited version of Sad-Eyed Lady of the Lowlands. No, I'm just... forgive me, that's just so terrible. This is yet another song of great social import. Ooh. And it started out, this is the first song in which I mentioned my grandfather, the bank robber, etc., 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 and it was supposed to be just about him, but by the second verse it had sort of become something different. It had become a song about the meaninglessness of the pursuit of money, which is of course an arguable position. And then by the third verse it became a sort of acerbic commentary on the economic zeitgeist. Oh, thank you. And the name of this song is The Money Isn't Real, and it also can be found on Salt for Silver. That's at Bandcamp, bertlee.bandcamp.com. And it's a ragtime tune. My grandpa was a grifter, a gambler, and a heel. He snuck around from town to town and he dealt a dirty deal. He went out in the wild world to steal what he could steal. You know he stole a fortune, but the money wasn't real. No, the money wasn't real. Funny how it is, you know now, the money wasn't real. He set out as a bandit, he came back empty-handed. He should have been a rich man, but the money wasn't real. Now the Pharaoh was a miser, his story has been told. He had 10,000 workers build a pyramid to hold all his statues and his trappings and his caskets and his gold. He wanted to have everything, but all he got was old, 'cause none of it was real. Funny how it is, you know now, none of it was real. His monument so grand just got covered up by sand, and now he's just another mummy, man, 'cause none of it was real. A poor man buys a loaf of bread, he shares it and it's gone. A rich man wrecks his portion, yet his wealth keeps rolling on. And the good things that you've said and done are nothing you can pawn, 'cause when you're in the underclass you're always overdrawn, 'cause the money isn't real. Funny how it is, you know now, the money isn't real. You can follow all the rules made by idiots for fools, and you think you'll get your just reward, but you won't. You won't pick up a penny, or you might spare a dime. A dollar buys a pretty meager way to waste your time. A C-note get your groceries, and a grand might buy a thrill. You might rake in a shitload and still not get your fill. I live in America, a country built on greed, and I suppose that's not a bad thing if you just take what you need. But it seems everyone's afflicted by a hunger to exceed. Why should one man have a billion when there's a million mouths to feed? 'Cause money isn't real. Funny how it is, you know now, the money isn't real. You can burn it, you can earn it, oh, but in the end you'll learn that it all amounts to nothing. this is the part where I talk. I have bought me some insurance in case I pass away. I've heard that that could happen, and who am I to say? I might live forever, then they'd never have to pay shit. Who would be the loser then if it all turned out that way? 'Cause the money isn't real. Funny how it is, you know now the money isn't real. You can spend it, you can lend it, but you'll find that in the end it all amounts to nothing. Yes, it's funny how it all amounts to nothing. So funny how it all amounts to nothing. 'Cause the money isn't. And I guess that takes me up to the finish line, and what a pleasure always to do this, John, and thank you so much for having the energy to pull all of this together every month. We all love you for it, and keeps me from going out and stealing hubcaps, so that's a good thing.
It is.
It is. Be well, brother. Be well, all friends.
You too.
High, low, middle, everywhere, all out there.